En el centro de la pampa vive un pimiento. Sol y viento pa' su vida, sol y viento.
Hello, I'm Patrick Barnard. Welcome to the 72nd edition of the Pimento Report. Today we're going to tell you a very important story. There's something called the PMAD, which is the Metropolitan Development Plan for Montreal, that is going forward and becoming a reality. At the same time, developers and promoters are racing to develop green spaces in the Montreal region as fast as possible. And that means that we are losing precious ecological assets here in the region at the very time that we say we're saving them. There's a case in point happening right now in the city of Beaconsfield, to the west of where I am sitting now. It's a place called Angell Woods. It's the oldest, only mature forest on the island of Montreal. It also has a precious wetlands. That's an amazing place. For a number of years, the Association for Protection of Angell Woods, APAW, under the leadership of lawyer Stephen Lloyd, has been fighting to save that green space for all the residents of the Montreal region. At this time, a very, very negative process is happening. It's something that you see everywhere in the world. It's the process of fragmentation, of nibbling away at a green space, and that results eventually in its destruction. Here is a timeline of the recent events in the Angell Woods story. It shows you in some considerable detail how this process of fragmentation, of nibbling away, can utterly erode a green space in the long term. In June of 2013, the man who was responsible on the executive committee of the City of Montreal for green space acquisition and many other important decisions, Monsieur Laurent Blanchard, wrote a letter to the City of Beaconsfield indicating that Montreal was serious about negotiating for the purchase of the remaining 50% of the woods that still was in private hands. On June 17th, the City Council of Beaconsfield passed a resolution indicating that it supported this negotiation and was serious about it. However, on July 6th, according to lawyer Stephen Lloyd of APAW, an email was sent to the landlords, the owners of the remaining 50%. A PPU, an urban plan, was being prepared that would change the zoning for Angell Woods, because in fact this piece of woods has been under an interim control bylaw which has effectively frozen development. That PPU changes the whole ballgame in Beaconsfield, and it was a complete reversal of what seemed to be the city's policies previously. The mayor of Beaconsfield, Mr. David Pollock, has stood alone, it seems, in supporting the preservation of Angell Woods in the long term in its entirety, which is what has to be done. We are going to see the city consultation about this urban plan, this rezoning that will take place, that occurred on September 24th, 2013. In the footage, you will see about, I would say, 300 citizens of Beaconsfield and other places as well who are utterly against this zoning change and want Angell Woods preserved. You will also see and hear Stephen Lloyd making his objections to what is going on in a very articulate way. And you will hear Sylvia Oljemark of the Green Coalition just outside the City Hall on the evening of September 24th, talking about the importance of Angell Woods to all the people who live in the Montreal area. We're outside this municipal building. Why are these woods important?
Well, folks have been trying to protect Angell Woods from going under the bulldozers for the last 30 years. It's one of the last few natural forests left on the island of Montreal, so it's important to save it. Unfortunately, as it winds down in the dying days of the current mandate for this council here right now, we may see the adoption of a new plan for Angell Woods that will actually see it face those bulldozers.
Now, this new plan envisages a development really in about 20% of what's called Angell Woods. Is that the sort of pattern that leads eventually to the destruction of a green space where you have the nibbling of a small part?
Exactly. It is opening wide the doors and saying, welcome developers, because a certain portion of the forest is still in private hands, and there can be lots of flipping of pieces of land and jockeying for price and so on like this that is going to just escalate the movement to develop. And in fact, the new plan envisages up to 500 new housing units right in the forest.
It's been reported.
It will never be a forest again.
It's been reported in Le Devoir that this June 2013 there were negotiations on the part of the City of Montreal to buy the remaining private lands that make up Angell Woods, and the council seemed to be going along with those plans, and then suddenly at a later point in the summer seemed to reverse itself. Do you have any information about that?
I have reliable information from reliable sources that tell us that yes, the City of Montreal had begun the actual buyout process to purchase for conservation the last buildable lots in Angell Woods. So this was Plan A being implemented, that is to save the entire forest. Now, why the council here, just months later and in the dying days of their mandate now, would launch into a new particular plan for Angell Woods that would turn all that process on its head and go for a Plan B, which is demonstrably not what people want. They want Plan A that saves Angell Woods, period. Plan B, in fact, opens the door to development. So I think the whole situation bears a big need for deep scrutiny.
This is a zoning exercise. There's a difference between zoning and infrastructure. Municipalities have absolute power over their infrastructure. Nobody can sue you to tell you to put the sewers in. You know that, it's acknowledged. Every lawyer and every urban planner knows that.
It was on one of the last slides, right?
There's no infrastructure in Angell Woods. There's no sewers. No one can force you to put the sewers in. Why has Angell Woods never been developed? Because nobody's put the sewers in. Municipal councils before that never made the decision to put the sewers in. You are about to make the decision to put the sewers in. That is a political decision. If you pass the PPU, the part of the PPU which was not in the PowerPoint commits the city of Beaconsfield to put infrastructure in. Page 29. It didn't show up in the PowerPoint. Ka-ching, ka-ching. That raises the value of the land. The land is worth $1 if there's no infrastructure. You commit to put infrastructure in. It's very funny, I know. Ka-ching, ka-ching.
I would have bought it by now.
Be patient, please.
Be patient.
Well, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Mr. Staden.
Second point, please be straight with people, with the citizens, with the landowners, and the developers. If you want an 80% solution, which you have all been talking about, zone 80% of Angell Woods for conservation. It's that simple. You have put forward an innovative project, which has never been done before in Quebec. No other municipality has done this chart with the staggered densities. Good for you, but in my book, when you're at the 11th hour, when you've got 1 minute to go before the game is over, you don't improvise with innovation. You go with what should be done properly. Don't mess around with people. If you really want an 80% solution, zone it for conservation. Public consultation, obviously. It doesn't show up to here, but your phase 1 is 68 units on Sunrise. You were supposed to approve that on Monday. I guess it got pulled back. I don't know what's going on. But zero public consultation on a 68 condo unit, a secret development agreement, which is not being shown to the citizens. How can this be? Plus, 1 month to review this Werner thing, this 40 pages, 60 PowerPoint slides. 1 month to review it and give you feedback, and now you're changing it. It's a moving target, apparently. And I'm not hearing proper consultation allowing us time to review the changes. And let's talk about the other solution here. The chairman of the executive committee of the City of Montreal looked me in the eyes, because we had to go meet with her directly because we weren't getting action from our own council, and told me, Mr. Lloyd, we have the money to buy Angell Woods. There's no need for a green tax or to put the city $12 million in debt. The money is there. We've already spent it on our taxes. We just want you to go get our share and use it to save Angell Woods. Yes. That's the solution. And while you're here, I'd like to hear each of the councillors, who are all, except for the mayor, who's been publicly against this PPU, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the letter which was sent by the current mayor of Montreal, Mr. Blanchard, to the city of Beaconsfield in the month of June. You passed a resolution in June saying, City of Montreal, come and buy Angell Woods. We think that's a solution. Mr. Blanchard sent you a letter. We've asked you for it. It hasn't been provided. It was sent to the city of Beaconsfield. I'd like to know what that letter says. Presumably it says, hey guys, we got a mandate here. I'd like to see these landowners get a fair deal and get bought out. That would be the solution. I'd also like to hear what you have to say about emails in the possession of the City of Montreal, dated July 6th, where a councillor tipped off the landowners that this PPU was coming in August 19th. Thank you.
There is a crisis in the Montreal area, in the Montreal region, a crisis of green spaces. Is what is going on here in Beaconsfield regarding Angell Woods a sign of this situation that is faced elsewhere?
Yes, indeed. I've heard from a gentleman called Guy Turcotte in Léry that he tells me down there on the South Shore, where he's located in that community, that almost the same scenario is being replicated with the council there, turning the wishes of the people that have been demonstrated on their head, and they're backing off earlier commitments to conservation of natural spaces.
So that is the story for now of Angell Woods. On October 1st, in just a few days, the City Council of Beaconsfield will be voting on these zoning changes that I believe are so terribly harmful to Angell Woods. We will see what happens. A lot of people are looking on at Angell Woods. They're looking on at the city of Beaconsfield. These are Montreal residents, obviously environmentalists, obviously APAW, councillors themselves. The people watch, the councillors watch, to see what is going to happen with the Angell Woods story. And the next chapter will take place on October 1st, 2013. This is Patrick Barnard saying goodbye for now from the Pimento Report.